Have you ever heard of a metalhead or a headbanger or even a mosher or a thrasher? These words describe people that listen to metal music, also known as the music of the devil. Metal has a deep-rooted history in 1960s psychedelic rock and blues, and its diverse sounds and styles have changed significantly throughout history. To understand the history of metal, we first need to know what metal music is, listing some of its sound qualities, as well as some popular examples. Next, I will go over how metal music started and its evolution. And lastly, how this genre has shaped modern metal music today. So, what is metal, and what are its distinctive features? The Encyclopedia Britannica, last updated October 1st, 2023, cites metal music as a genre that is virtuosic, intense, and powerful. In an academic article published in 2015 called Genre and Expression in Extreme Metal Music, the distinctive sound qualities of metal include heavy distorted electric guitar riffs, overblown power chords, dense bass lines, screaming vocals full of rage, and drop-tune guitars. Metal includes lyrical themes of social isolation, morbidity, anxiety, depression, as well as messages about love, hope, heroism, and the occasional Vikings and flying dragons. The subgenres of metal are endless, including folk metal, symphonic metal, progressive metal, doom metal, industrial metal, death metal, and so much more. Some popular metal bands include Black Sabbath, Metallica, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, as well as some more modern bands such as Bring Me the Horizon, Gojira, In Flames, and Lamb of God. Now that we have a general understanding of what metal music is, let's take a look at its origins and how it's evolved. Masterclass, last updated on July 15th, 2021, states that the roots of heavy metal started in the late 1960s with the rise of the British invasion groups like the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, the Kinks, and the Who, all of whom set the foundation for heavy metal, built on the sound quality of blues. Black Sabbath is credited with creating the heavy metal genre in the late 1960s alongside bands like Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin. The academic article, A Selective Discography of Scandinavian Heavy Metal, published in 2010 by the Music Library Associated, reported that the mid-1970s had a shift in metal called punk rock. Punk rock arose as a rejection to the contemporary rock genres at the time. These were bands like the Ramones, the Stooges, the Misfits, and the Sex Pistols. They used faster tempos, simpler song structures, and shouted lyrics about anti-authority and anti-establishment. The 1980s emerged glam or hair metal. Glam and hair metal were driven by the punchy guitar metal sound, combining that with lyrics about sex and drug use. They had bold stylistic makeup and elaborate wardrobes to create a highly commercialized musical product. These were represented by bands like Guns N' Roses or Twisted Sisters and Motley Crue, which were the biggest hair metal bands in that time. Finally, glam or hair metal emerged thrash metal. This was distinguished by their aggressive sounds, shredding style lead guitar work, and their fast tempos. These were bands like Metallica, Anthrax, Slayer, Megadeth. And as you can see, the origins of metal and its numerous evolutions have influenced the way it shaped contemporary metal. Now, let's look at modern day metal. The New World Encyclopedia, last updated on December of 2020, states that by the 1990s, newer forms of metal came into play and the term heavy metal was no longer used. This was now traditional metal, as exemplified by the bands of the 1970s, like Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, and Led Zeppelin. Grunge bands like Nirvana and Alice in Chains emerged in the 1990s, and this genre merged with another subgenre called alternative metal, which gained momentum with bands like Rage Against the Machine, Tool, and Marilyn Manson. Soon after alternative metal, derived was nu metal, which combines elements of metal, hip-hop, funk, and industrial. Korn is considered the pioneer of nu metal in the mid-1990s, and this paved the way for bands like Limp Bizkit, Faith No More, Linkin Park, and Papa Roach. Finally, the modern metal sphere concludes with Metalcore, which emerged in the early 2010s. And this combined extreme metal with hardcore punk. The distinguishing characteristic here was the breakdown, which was when a song is slowed down and the guitarists play open strings to achieve a hard, brutal, low-pitched sound. This led to bands like Of Mice and Men, Killswitch Engage, All That Remains, and Bullet for My Valentine. So, if you are considered a metalhead or a headbanger, you are listening to a diverse form of rock and roll that has so many different types of sounds and styles, making it one of the most commercially successful genres of rock music. Its deep-rooted history in 1960s psychedelic rock and blues has had an enormous influence in redefining American popular music, making it one of the most culturally significant musical genres of our time.